What's going on, everyone? Cabana Greg here, and today's video really brings me no joy whatsoever. So, for those of you that aren't aware, last Friday there was an official statement released by one of the CEOs of Telltale Games, basically stating that there were massive layoffs and that the studio would be effectively closing down. The statement reads, "Today, Telltale Games made the difficult decision to begin a majority studio closure following a year marked by insurmountable challenges. A majority of the company's employees were dismissed earlier this morning, with a small group of 25 employees staying to fulfill the company's obligations to its board and partners." Basically what that means is Netflix, and I'll get into that in a little bit. CEO Pete Howley, Pete Howley issued the following statement. "It's been an incredibly difficult year for Telltale as we work to set the company on a new course. Unfortunately, we ran out of time trying to get there. We released some of our best content this year and received a tremendous amount of positive feedback, but ultimately, that didn't translate to sales. With a heavy heart, we watch our friends leave today to spread our brand of storytelling across the games industry." So yeah, I saw that tweet while I was on a job and I didn't think at first, I didn't read it as Telltale was closing. I don't know why, but when I first started, I was like, oh, they're laying off a few people. But then as it turns out, they laid off over 200 people in their staff, which is, it's way over like a 90%. It's insane. Yeah, this news has really affected me actually, and I know we've had other studio closures like Visceral Games, and we've had Evolution Studios, and like a few others in recent memory. Big studios that have lost a lot of people, a lot of talented people. But Telltale's closure did something different for me as a gamer. But just thinking back to 2011, 2012, when like Telltale was really getting their stride, putting out great content, I think that's what it was that this brand, Telltale, they were able to take licensed properties and non-licensed properties and like truly make them unique and interesting experiences. And it's been years since I played the first Walking Dead, but I've grown up with those characters and with this series, and they've done such a compelling job at like building a universe of their own kind, and really making gamers care about the characters that they are, putting pen to paper and bringing to life. So I think that's why Telltale's closure really hit me hard. It was because I had been growing up with their games for a long time. I didn't even think about it until right now, but for a long time I've been playing their games and been enjoying their games and looking forward to their games, and now they're just gone. I mean, it's honestly super sad. I actually knew two people that used to work at Telltale Games. Both of them were actually in charge of editing the trailers, like season 2. Both of my friends worked around like season 2 Walking Dead around that time. So like when the studio was like hiring more people and trying to do more projects and like bring in new IPs or new licenses so that they could actually start working on the game. So I knew a few people that used to work there, and they had nothing but great things to say about that experience of being with like-minded people and a great group of people just to like work and create games. And it was so exciting to hear them say that about Telltale. And now they're gone. They are gone. And the 25 people that are still there working are fulfilling obligations to Netflix. Yes, that is why they are there, because Netflix wants a Minecraft story mode or whatever. They want a Minecraft story, and Telltale's supposed to make that for them. And that is the only reason why they have 25 people currently working at Telltale. All the other projects, no idea. Wolf Among Us 2, which I'll get into in a bit, that's probably gone. Stranger Things game, that is confirmed as being gone. Tales from the Borderlands Season 2, that's effectively gone as well. And that is truly upsetting. Mainly because Wolf Among Us Season 2, which I guess I'll just talk about now. I played the first season of Wolf Among Us, and didn't know what it was, just saw that Telltale was releasing this like cool fairy tale, dark noir game, and I was so hooked. I was like ready to jump in and start playing it, and I did, and I thought it was freaking amazing. Tales from the Borderlands. I've always disliked the Borderlands series, but the fact that Telltale was working on a narrative-driven Borderlands game with its own story, just kind of taking characters from the game, but just effectively it's its own story, that made me want to play the game, despite the fact that my track record with Borderlands games, I didn't care for them. But Telltale made me interested in an IP that I just didn't care about, and I thought Tales from the Borderlands was one of my favorite games that year when it came out, and it's still one of my favorite narrative-based adventure games I've ever played. I think it's so well done. So yeah, those projects are gone. The other thing about Telltale Games was that when the first season of The Walking Dead came out, my sister is really not a gamer. The only kinds of games she plays are like The Sims, and like Telltale games, Until Dawn. So games of that nature where you can kind of like choose your own path, choose your own adventure route. She's not a huge gamer. But the first time I downloaded the first season of The Walking Dead, and she had heard about it, she's like, oh, I heard it's like really cool, and it's actually good. And she watched me play through the first episode, and she was hooked. She was like, I'm buying this now. And she went onto her computer and downloaded the first episode of season 1, and ever since then she's always been a big Telltale fan. And this was great. She never would play any other kinds of games. Her computer, like back home, it's just Sims, and then every single Telltale game, and then like a few other like games like Oxenfree, which makes sense because Oxenfree was created with former Telltale developers and stuff like that. But still, she's always been a Telltale fan. And the best thing about that was that we actually finally had games that we could have shared experiences with. Like, I'd go finish the first season of The Walking Dead, and she would finish the first season of The Walking Dead at the same time, and we would just talk about our choices we made, which characters we loved, which characters we hated, and then we eventually got into this rhythm of just, when the first season of Wolf Among Us came out, we both downloaded it that day and started playing. Tales from the Borderlands. Both of us really didn't know what the story would be, but we both downloaded it day one, started playing, and shared our experiences. And I've never had any other game do that for myself and my sister, where we are actually just playing the game simultaneously, side by side, and comparing our notes and comparing our experiences. No other game's done that for us. And I think that's also why this closure is really upsetting for me, is because I've had a shared experience with someone that I care about, and it's, now what are we going to play together? It's so wild that that's just gone now. In fact, when I heard about the statement on Twitter, I think within maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I have to check my text messages, but within like 5 to 10 minutes, I got a text from my sister, and she's like, what's happening with Telltale Games? What's going on? I'm like, I don't really know. I like kind of haphazardly read the tweet, but she's someone that doesn't follow games news at all, but she knew about this the same time I did. I didn't even say anything to her. She just knew, and she texted right away, and it's like, it sucks, because she loves that studio. I think for one of her birthdays, I got her the Clementine hat, which is like the D with the blue, and she loved that gift. Those games mean so much to her, and they mean so much to me. And they mean so much to a lot of people. I know plenty of people that believe Clementine is like one of their favorite characters in video games. And a lot of people loved Wolf Among Us because it was just so different and dark and mysterious. And sure, Telltale games, they're not perfect. Their earlier outings with Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, they weren't that awesome. I played them later on, and I was like, they're fine. But they did something right with The Walking Dead Season 1. They had everything work in that game. They had the characters, the story, and it just all amounted into this like perfect ending. It was both touching and sad, and it was a great game. The engine wasn't perfect. It was very buggy. I had numerous game crashes. But, aside from that, I think when you can look back on a game and despite all of its flaws, you can still say that you had a great time with it. You can still say it's one of the most memorable and impactful video game experiences that you've had in a long time. I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yeah, Telltale games, from a technical standpoint, they've never been perfect. But they are getting better. This new season of The Walking Dead, the final season of The Walking Dead, has been great. The There's no technical issues. I think that they've fixed a majority of the issues that plagued the earlier games that they've created. But now it's like, as they were improving and as they were getting better, it's all for nothing, I guess, because they're gone now. And let's talk about the final season of The Walking Dead real quick. I actually just finished episode 2 of the final season, and that may be the final episode that we ever see for this game. But however, I did wait on making this video because I wasn't sure if new things were going to develop, if new things were going to be released. As it turns out, Telltale are actively trying to finish the final season of The Walking Dead, and other studios, from what I've read, other studios are coming to Telltale to find ways for them to help with the creation or the completion of this game in any shape or form, they said. So who knows if we'll actually get 2 full episode releases to finish out this final season. Some of my friends are thinking that maybe they'll show us a flowchart of events, and then that'll kind of be that. We'll get an understanding of how it's supposed to end, and maybe we'll get some kind of like concept art. What I'm thinking they may do, I just thought of this, is when they normally, between each episode, there's a previously on, so between episode 1 to 2, there's a previously on to refresh you. What they may end up doing is taking the key pivotal moments for episodes 3 and episodes 4 and doing like a montage, almost as if it was supposed to be like a previously on, but instead it would just kind of touch upon the big moments of episodes 3 and episodes 4, mesh them together and create like a very quick, maybe 5-minute overview of what is going to happen in the next 2 episodes. That is a possibility. I really hope that's not what they end up doing. I hope that other studios and other creatives out there help Telltale finish this story, because this would be the most heartbreaking thing for a lot of people if this series is just kind of kaputs, if nothing is resolved and nothing comes of the ending. Because it's been years since the first game came out, and this would go down as one of those moments in video game history of just like, wow, remember The Walking Dead final season? And you just like look back to it on your hard drive or whatever in the future, whatever. You look back to it and you're like, well, yeah, there's only the 2 episodes out of the 4, and episode 2 was really good, and it just kind of ended like that. So who knows what's going to happen with this final season. But the most recent statements I've seen from other places is that Telltale is actively trying to finish the season with help from outside sources. So, but yeah, guys, I know this is not really a conventional video that I'm used to doing, and I know I should have done this video sooner just because of timing and whatnot, but to be honest, I just wanted to talk about this because it was just, when I found out, I was actually bummed out and very upset. It's a super talented studio, a lot of talented people working there, and now they gotta, some of them didn't get severance packages. Like, there's some shit going on at Telltale right now, so I know a lot of people naturally are just sad because the games they want to see finished aren't going to be finished, but think about the people now that are currently being affected and impacted by this closure. It sucks. And I'm so sad that this happened. But I'm hopeful that we get a nice wrap up to the final season of The Walking Dead. I don't know what's going to happen with their other properties. I don't know if we're ever going to get sequels to Wolf Among Us and Borderlands and all that good stuff. But currently, I think the point of me making this video is just saying that Telltale, you will be missed. I didn't really start thinking about Telltale stuff until this video, I guess. But I've really enjoyed their games, and they've shaped me in a lot of ways. And they brought me and my sister closer together when it comes to just like video games. And I don't really know if any other company will do that again for a long time. I mean, Oxenfree and like other new studios that are emerging from previous Telltale developers, like that's great and all, but Telltale will always have a special place in my heart because they just got it. They just knew how to make compelling stories and great characters. And the fact that all of these potential projects now are just going to be gone or are gone at this point, it's really sad. But again, I'm hopeful I'm hopeful that something good comes from this, but only time will tell, I guess, is just what I have to say to that. To all those affected by the layoffs, I'm really sorry. That's so unfortunate. Hopefully you guys land on your feet. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys with another video. And I'm actually thinking of doing a retrospect stream, if that makes sense. I'm basically going to go and stream the first season of The Walking Dead, Season 2, Wolf Among Us. I'm going to try and hit on all of the main Telltale games on my Twitch account, which is twitch.tv/Cabana Greg. So feel free to join me on those streams. We could talk about the games and what we love and what we don't like about the games and just remembering them for what they are. So yeah, until next time, guys.